Hey there, Riverman fans. I'm Jason Ruff. Welcome to another edition of the Dry Dock Podcast. This is the podcast where we get a chance to sit down with some of your favorite Riverman personalities, talk to them about the season that was, and get an idea of what's going on with them now that the ship is in dry dock. Our next guest is one of the newer arrivals to the Peoria Riverman, but he quickly became a fan favorite. The native of Miami, Florida, the veteran from down south, Carlos Fornaris, Mr. Vamos himself. Carlos, how's
Almost.
it going, my friend? Great to see you. You're looking great. How's your summer been since the Riverman season came to an end?
Good to see you too, Ruff. It's been kind of eventful, I've been staying busy. As soon as the season's kind of over, you kind of just like start having to work and your new routine starts. So, working, staying busy. But it's been good so far, It's nice to kind of relax after a season and kind of lay low for a little bit.
You've been working with Alec Bear in some hockey camps too, right? With Jean Guy?
Yeah, yeah. So we've been pretty busy. We're working with True Hockey. We have an elite camp that we're running right now, as well as some shooting lessons at the Gorilla Pit. Me and Alec have been doing that. Staying busy, so it's good.
Yeah, that's really awesome. It's interesting when you get Carlos and you get Alec Bear. Those are two of some of the what I think were some of the better Rivermen, not only in terms of skill but also in terms of just drive and energy. Who do you think's the better shooter right now? You or Bearsy in the off season?
I think I'm gonna have to give that one to Bearsy. I think he's the better shooter. I think he had a lot more goals than I did too
I
last
mean,
season.
he did, but I mean, you're also someone who you got a fair number of goals yourself too. I mean, let's be
Yeah.
honest here. I mean, you've played a lot all over the place, ECHL, SPHL as well with the Fayetteville Marksmen. You come here into Peoria, and I remember Jean-Guy telling us is like it's almost like Carlos has taken that step and kind of become one of those key core guys. What was it about Peoria and Jean-Guy's system that you think enabled you to thrive and really had a solid season?
Yeah, I just feel like when I came in, we had a lot of similar beliefs. Like the culture of the team is very team first.
Mhm.
And I believe, that's something that's essential to become a championship team.
Mhm.
And then the guys on the team, coming in and having so many veterans like Wilkie, Ernie, Bearsy, Mike Gillette, Tino. It was just a great group of guys and like guys that really cared for one another.
Mhm.
And that's just kind of how I like to live my life too. So when I came in, it just felt like really natural for me, and it was kind of easy, honestly.
How do you think? Because those who don't know, you're a father, you're a proud father, you're a wonderful wife, wonderful family. How do you think being a father helps get you in a better mindset in order to be not only a better hockey player, but also a better leader as well?
Yeah, actually, when I became a father, my life changed completely. It was like a complete 180. Yeah, my mindset was entirely different. Yeah, I don't think I was never a bad teammate, but I don't think I was always like a team first kind of guy, always, no matter what.
Mhm.
And when Daniela was brought into my life, it just like I don't know. It's just that you change your mindset just completely changes and you want to live a life of service. You feel like it makes you happier. And yeah, that's just how I'm trying to live my life now.
I feel like I'm listening to Jean-Guy Trudel. Like those are the exact words that he uses when he and I
Yeah.
talk about, about family and about having that right mindset. He mentions living a life of service, being team first, doing everything for the team and doing everything for the people you care about. Do you think there might be coaching at some point in your future?
I think I'm really starting to grow passion for it right now.
Mhm.
I'm really lucky that I'm able to not only play for Guy, but now I'm coaching alongside him.
Mhm.
So I'm able to kind of learn how he does it.
Yeah.
And to see the energy and passion he brings in and yeah, I'm really starting to love it more and more every day.
Looking at this past season, what was your favorite moment from this year with the Peoria Rivermen?
Oh man, there's a lot. I think my favorite moment. man, there was a lot. The overtime win against Quad. Um, but if the one that sticks with me the most is when we had a road trip. We went to Burmy. It was Burmy, Pensy, and we went. Not with a lot of guys, and I don't even think Guy was with us that trip. He wasn't.
Yeah.
And but in the third game, we're playing against Pensy, like with like 10, 11 guys, like
Yeah.
something crazy.
Yeah.
And everybody on that bench, like it was just everyone was just there for each other.
Hmm.
And we ended up winning that game
Yeah.
with 11 guys. And then we had guys that were hurt on the bench. They weren't even playing. They were just dressed
Yeah.
and they were in the fight with us and everything. And that's something I tell so many people about. Like, man, that game's gonna stick with me for the rest of my life.
I remember that weekend. It really was like the walking wounded weekend. And you're right, Guy wasn't on that trip. That was one where Eric kind of took the reins by himself behind the bench on that road 3-3. But you know what is remarkable to me? Just how we've talked a lot about the injuries and the call-ups and like 60 different Rivermen, including yourself, wore the Riverman uniform this year. I believe that's a new franchise record. But what stands out to me, and despite all that roster turnover, this team still won the regular season championship and had such success on the ice. And I think, do you think that it was a product of just the closeness and the togetherness of that group in the locker room?
Yeah, I think it's entirely that. Everybody that came in, even if they were here for just a week, 2 weeks, like everybody loved it. And everybody was always like, man, I'm gonna miss the guys because we're family here. And that's like, we really care for one another. Like we really do. And that's what makes coming to the rink so fun. You're hanging out with your family at the rink too. So
What is it about Peoria, whether it be the fans, whether it be the organization itself, or what have you? What is it about Peoria that makes it so easy for this place for you to call home?
yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, I'm from Miami, Florida, but I don't really feel like my personality is like Miami, Florida.
Hmm.
I feel like my personality is more like Peoria. I feel like this is a family friendly area.
Hmm.
My wife is from Cedar Rapids,
Okay.
Iowa, so it's really close by. Um, and she was super happy here. And my daughter, she loved Peoria. She loved going to all the games. And honestly, just to see them both so happy here makes me really happy too.
Hmm.
And then also, the passion that the fans have here.
Yeah.
It's so fun to play in front of them. It's so fun every home game. Like it's just I honestly haven't felt that in my pro career anywhere else.
Really.
You always have like those games where teddy bear toss night but this is like passionate fans like every night
Yeah.
and it's special.
I always say that it seems there's always such a vested connection and a vested interest in this team from these fans. Like you can tell if they could get out onto the ice and go block a shot for you, they would do that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah, and they celebrate those things too, like in a game, like when someone blocks a shot or someone
Hmm.
gets a clear in the penalty kill. Like you hear the fans going nuts. Like they're
Yeah.
really, they celebrate the little things too
Yeah.
that add up. So
I need to ask you about your shootout move because I remember it was right in the beginning of the year where you have this very interesting move. It's kind of slowly to the left, almost like you like don't even care. You're like almost like walking the puck. Then all of a sudden you speed up, head fake the goal and either go 5 hole or get him going right and then going left. Where did that move come from and why do you think you have had so much success in it, especially in the shootout this year?
So I can't take full credit for that move. Actually, I think it's a former Riverman that
Really?
taught me that move. He was my teammate in Atlanta. His name was Derek Nesbitt. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure he played for the Rivermen. And when I was in Atlanta, he was like 10 for 10, like
Hmm.
in the shootout. And he taught me that move. It's a lefty, you go in wide left, and then you have like three different options. You basically are reading off the goalie and he worked with me. And this was actually like the first year that I really applied that move on every shootout attempt because before that I had a completely different move that I would always do.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, all the credit to him. Like he really taught me.
It's what strikes me from a broadcast perspective. I'm sure fans can appreciate this as well. When you first start out, it almost looks like you don't care.
Yeah, that's kind of like that's just my routine in the
Mhm.
shootout. It's not necessarily to scare the goalie, although I feel like it could probably be intimidating if you just see
Yeah.
me just like strolling up all like it's nothing. But that's just kind of my routine. Like I'm settling in. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
relax, and then when I hit my spot in the left circle, that's when I'm like, okay, like now
Exactly.
time, and then yeah, this is
Bear down,
that's
find your spot, and more often than not, hit it. I mean, the
yeah.
Rivermen ended a 2-year skid of losing in the shootout this past year. I mean, that alone, I think, is incredible.
Yeah, when the guys told me that, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that we're not good at shootouts. You know.
We never have, even for as long as I've been here. And granted, I just finished up my 4th year here, but I mean, the Rivermen have been able to win shootouts, but it's never been like the MO for
Yeah,
the Rivermen. And I asked Jean-Guy Trudel this one time, and he said, "Why practice something we're never going to use in the postseason? Like
yeah. You'll
you know,
never be in a shootout in the postseason.
yeah,
So
you're never going to be in 3-on-3 overtime in the postseason, and that's what it's all about. So it makes perfect sense. I think
yeah,
one
it's a skills
year
competition, really.
it is a skills competition."
Yeah, yeah. So I'm glad that we were able to win a couple of the shootouts this year.
Speaking on winning a couple this year, congratulations to your Florida Panthers, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals appearances in a row. Good heavens, you guys are spoiled with hockey down in Florida. I mean, how many Stanley Cup Finals has this been now where a Florida team has been in the Cup final? It's got to be at least the last five,
Six,
5, 6. Yeah,
6 years, I think. 6 years in a row where it was Tampa for three and then Florida for three.
you guys are spoiled down there, man. I tell you what.
Yeah, the Florida Panthers, they're just they're a team that's so close to one another too. They really care
Yeah.
about one another. And then, when they won that second Stanley Cup and they're celebrating, Barkov gets the cup and he
Yep.
brings it right to all of his teammates,
Hmm.
right? And then all the veterans, they sit back and they let all the first year guys that won it for the first time, they let them go first and raise the cup. And that's just like, it's like not even surprising because that's what they are. They're family, they're so close, and that's why they win.
Paul Reese also, whenever I hear him talk, I just get like shades of Jean-Guy Trudel with just his mannerisms and how he talks. Do you get that as well?
Yes, I do. I think he's a little bit more intense. But yeah, there are some similarities there.
I was speaking to Jean-Guy, I was talking to him recently, and we brought up the Florida Panthers. This was back in the early stages of the series, right before Game 4, I believe. And he made mention, he said, the way Florida plays is very similar to how the Rivermen play. Do you agree with that statement? And if so, what are some of those similarities with how the Florida Panthers play their game and how they want to play their game versus how the Rivermen play their game?
I think the biggest similarity is the forecheck, the pressure, the constant pressure, how they're always just going and going. There's never, like for Edmonton, they were like suffocated. It was like they never had time and space to create a play. And, that's a big thing that we like to do here with the Rivermen. We like to really just move our feet and constantly be forechecking, reloading, forechecking again, activate, deactivating, just nonstop. And that's the biggest thing that I think.
Mhm.
Um, they're just Florida Panthers are so good though. Like
They are.
it's just so fun to watch them play. I mean, and the fact that they were able to stop McDavid and Draisaitl like that and make it look like they had nothing. It's
Do you thank Brad Marchand for that? I mean, he had the series
yeah,
everyone was expecting Connor McDavid to have.
yeah. Him, Marchand, and Sam Bennett.
Yep.
Those are my two MVPs, and those are the kind of guys that you want in playoffs.
Yeah.
The dogs. Like Sam Bennett, he's a great player. He's
Mhm.
a great skater. He's not gonna dangle everybody,
Right.
but he's gonna go full speed, hit somebody, get the puck, and he's gonna put the puck in the back of the net. And
Yeah.
those are the guys that you want.
And Marchand, he's going to outwork you. He's going to out hustle you.
Yeah,
He's going to out time you. That was the big thing. Marchand's timing, like off of draws, are just nuts.
yeah, right. Like he's on his toes. He was engaged. He was just on his toes and won the race right off every face off losses,
Mhm.
right? The
Yeah.
face off loss, and he wins the race to the puck, and then his skill comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit earlier, like 5 or 6 years, straight years that a Florida team has been in the Stanley Cup Finals. What do you think the last little bit, 6 years, maybe extend it back out to 10? What do you think the last couple of years have meant for the growth of the game of hockey in the state of Florida?
Oh, I think it's been huge. Um, even seeing the parade this year compared to last year, it's like double the amount of people. People are excited about hockey,
Hmm.
and I'm seeing it on my Instagram now. Like, try out hockey for free with the Panthers. Try ball hockey. Try roller hockey. You're just starting to see it more and more, and I think it's great. Like a lot of kids, like when I was playing in Florida, I had to leave Florida to
Yeah.
play to be able to compete against higher level.
Right.
And it's not always easy to leave home. It's not really ideal that that's the only kind of option that we had. So hopefully, the competition keeps growing in Florida and guys can continue to grow the game there.
So yeah, I mean, you played hockey with Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, also with the Topeka Roadrunners in the USHL and the North American Hockey League, respectively. How did you get hooked on the game of hockey? And you talk to us a little bit more about that journey. Like you said, you sometimes have to leave the state of Florida to go into those higher competition leagues like the NOL, like the USHL.
Yeah, so actually, I was born in Chicago
Okay.
and then was raised in Miami when I was two, basically. But yeah, my dad side of the family, huge hockey fans. They played floor hockey a lot in Chicago,
Hmm.
and so that's how I got into ice hockey. And yeah, I was just playing hockey in Florida, and I was doing pretty well. And then the opportunity came to go to a boarding school, and my dad really wanted me to go, and yeah, I was pretty excited about it too. And I go to boarding school, and then I have a good year, and then I get picked up by a USHL team, speak to some colleges, and go to the NUL. But basically, it all started from boarding school. Like my coach told me if I wanted to, try to play college hockey or try to play pro, I had to leave Florida, and so I did. I went to boarding school when I was 15.
Wow. That's a tough year to leave home, to leave your home state and go to a place that for the most part is very foreign. And yet that's kind of the price a lot of these kids nowadays are going to have to make if they want to, play at a high tier junior and have a chance to go play college or play professionally.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I will say, going to boarding school, it was like one of the greatest years of my life. I had so much fun there.
Why so?
It was just different. You're on your own and you're with your brothers, your teammates, and it was just a lot of fun. It was a lot of healthy fun. We played a lot of sports. I was playing tennis too. I was playing hockey, basketball, soccer. It was just like you weren't. I don't know. You weren't doing anything bad out
Yeah.
there. It was just like it was
They
just like
probably wouldn't let you do anything.
yeah, exactly. It was like healthy living, and it was a good time. It was a lot of
That's
fun.
awesome. Carlos, obviously summer is continuing. The Rivermen have their home dates. Everything's getting ready. We're starting to get to that point where we're starting to think about next year. What's the rest of your summer looking like? Are you going to be able to get back down to Florida? It's probably cooler there in Florida right about now than it is up here in Illinois.
Yeah, it is, which is crazy. It's been very hot these last couple of days. But yeah, my plan is I'm going to be going back to Florida here in like a week, maybe a little less, and then try make my way back before the season at some point.
Do you have any special things you want to try to get done this summer before hockey season comes out? Do a little golfing, maybe try to take Bearsy down on the course or something like that?
I don't think that'll ever happen. I went golfing with him once, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone golf better than that.
Hmm.
But yeah, I like playing a lot of ball hockey. I like playing a
Okay.
lot of tennis.
There you
So
go.
those are my big off-season things. I played tennis with my dad. He's
Oh,
a really good player too, so we're always able to hit with each other. So that's always fun.
That's
And then
awesome.
to spend time with my daughter and my wife, you know.
That's
Um, so it's gonna be good. I'm gonna really enjoy it.
it did now. Does she like the beach and like going into the water, or is she not quite, not
Oh,
quite
she loves it.
loves it? Awesome.
She loves it. She loves it. Honestly, she loves everything. So she just likes to do a bunch of stuff. So
That's awesome. The great family man and up and coming Riverman leader, Riverman standout, Carlos Fornaris. Carlos, thanks so much for taking the time to come talk to us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your summer. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
thank you, Ruffer.